DNA in your cells to metabolize more normally. So for example, we can have a person who has low blood pressure and give them real salt. You can use this word. Real salt aids in the adaptability of the body. You could call it an adaptogen if you want. Real salts. If you have high blood pressure and you take real salt, it will help bring your blood pressure down because it helps clean the blood. It helps power the cells, all the different cells in the body. So you still have the misconception.
No, so it helps basically equilibrium your body for whatever your body needs it.
Exactly.
So if you still need to detox, it's gonna promote the water to help detox, that's what the body needs.
That is correct. Real salt helps cleanse the water. And what I tell people, a lot of people who, they say, I drink a lot of water and it doesn't do me any good. Well, if you add real salts to the water, it makes water more efficient in the body.
Okay, so can you explain salts, with the S, what is that versus salt?
Okay.
Isn't it, okay, yeah,
Simple answer. The simple salt is sodium chloride. Salts, I'll use the number 78. You have about 78 different minerals in this real salt. Now pay close attention. Think of a nuclear powered submarine. What do they use as fuel?
uranium.
Plutonium. Plutonium. They put some plutonium in and they go out for 10 years. They don't need to stop at the gas station to get fuel. The DNA in each cell in your body is kind of like the nuclear powered submarine. The DNA in different cells need different minerals. Where do they get them?
From the salts.
Not from a banana, not from an apple.
Yeah.
They get them from real salts.
Yeah.
So you may go shake, shake, shake in the water and stir it up and drink it, and you have maybe only 3 or 4 grains of one kind of mineral, and it helps one organ a lot.
So that's why real salt gives you more minerals, which is really more salts.
More value.
More value, yeah.
Exactly right. Now, along that same line, how much salts do you need? I talked to you about the word innate. Innate intelligence is the power of God, of life force that's within you. It was a gift to you at birth. When you were born, you were, by divine design, a computer that has many, many functions, most of which you never heard of, you never will, you'll never understand. If you do hear them, it doesn't matter, they're going to work anyway. They're automatic, okay? They're automatic. And they always work. And when you take salt, whether it be on your cereal, in your water, in your soup, wherever you take it, if it tastes too salty to you, you have too much. So what do?
Use them.
Drink
You
water.
dilute it
Drink the water.
with water. You dilute it with water. What is two people at the same table eating the same food? One goes, they taste really good. The other one goes, oh, it's too salty. It all depends on what their body needs are at the time. And that changes depending on temperature, how much you sweat, how much you sleep, how much you move. It depends on a lot of things. Your body pH affects the amount of salt you need. So be sensitive to it. Now this book,
Dr. Smith.
yes,
So what about if a person gets real hooked on sugar? Can sugar change your ability to see how much salt you need?
you know, that's a perfect question. Thank you for asking. Sugar by chemical definition is an alcohol. So if you're hooked on sugar, you're technically an alcoholic. Now don't tell your bishop you're hooked on sugar. Yes, so if you're an alcoholic or you're hooked on sugar, then yes, your brain doesn't work the same as it does when it's clean. So then that modifies the ability of your body to determine the amount of salt you need.
Just like alcohol does your ability to reason.
Exactly. Now, the fellow who wrote this book was in India. He was a political prisoner. He spent 8 years in confinement, and fellow prisoners knew that he was a doctor, and they would come to him and say, I've got asthma, I've got ulcers, whatever. He had one tool, and it wasn't a knife. What was it?
Water.
Water. So he would look at the body size, he'd look at, you know, the fingernails and tongue or muscles, whatever like that, and he would make a recommendation. For example, you need X amount of water every day. Now go drink that much water every day. Come back in 2 weeks, we'll check again. He built a big practice in prison. He came out of prison and wrote that book. He said, I can cure any asthma, I could cure arthritis, ulcer with water. He
Just
did it.
drink more.
Drink more, that's the bottom
Usually.
line.
Yeah.
Now, if you've done this or had family or friends, you take a trip down to the hospital and you go in the ER and you have a problem, what do you get?
Saline,
And
the fluids.
salt and water.
Yeah.
And it's not real salt, I can guarantee you that. But it's not table salt. It's
I just want to say, I've been admitted to the hospital one time in my life, and it was for appendicitis. And when I went in, they did the IV. They didn't do much else to me other than scans. And when I left the hospital the next day, I had gained 11 pounds. So to me, that was partly because I needed the water, but also partly I was retaining water now because of the bad salt in the saline solution. I neutralized over the next 4 or 5 days, but it was really telling to me that like my body was holding all of what they were putting in.
Thank you for sharing that. And that's a gallon and a quarter. That's a lot of water.
Can I ask you something? I did a little experiment the other day after my coffee. And the first part of my coffee,
You drink coffee?
a certain way, the cool way. Anyway, so I went and got on I got on the scales first to
Yep.
see what I weighed. Then I did the first part of the coffee before the rinse, and I had gained 1 pound after dumping it all. And then did the rinse, went back and gained another pound. So I gained like 2.5 pounds after it was all gone. It's like,
After
wow.
being
So my
in-
body used it or needed it or held it or,
Absorbed it.
All three. Use some to detoxify and cleanse. Because it held it, it needed it, because you were deficient. Okay,
okay,
I found the same thing.
cool.
I tried it yesterday.
that's very common. And if,
I used to stand on it.
now, if you want to do that experiment again, eat a big steak or go to the movie and buy some popcorn with all the Nazi crap they have on it. The next
That's
day,
the good stuff.
then next day you'll gain more weight
Okay, 11.
because you needed more water.
To
Okay.
dilute the salt or the crap that was on the popcorn.
That's right. And help wash it out.
Yep.
But it tastes good doing that.
Can you tell us what, like, a specific name of a salt to get that we should?
Real salt.
Is it-
That's the name.
That's it,
That's
yeah.
Redmond.
Salt that has minerals in it.
Redmond, Himalayan.
Redmond, yeah.
He sells it. He sells it.
Oh, he has
The brand, real R-E-A-L, real salt, is sold by Redmond.
Oh,
And you can't get it anywhere.
Yeah, it's very common now. I buy about a 25-pound bag. I have a couple bags in storage. I have a couple bags for sale. I divide it up into little bottles so people can try it if they haven't tried it. You can go online, you can buy it. Anybody can buy it, they'll ship it to UPS. They buy 25 pounds at a time. You can buy it at Winkle. There are a lot of places you can buy it. I recommend it highly.
Wanted to see if you really wanted.
Okay, now,
Do you recommend that over the, like, the Himalayan salt that you
over
buy?
what?
The Himalayan salt that you can buy at Winkle?
It's basically came from the same ocean, just a little different part of the ocean. It's very similar. Has
It's
a
the same
little,
stuff.
little more pink. If you like pink, buy Himalayan.